Hey guys, my name is Rafi, short for Raphael. A lot of you already know me, but of course I do have to give an introduction. And one thing I will say about this new channel that you're watching, Celestial Solace, the whole objective of this channel is to give you as much information as you can, as I can rather, about certain things that are going on in our society, but also to teach you how to educate yourself on things that are going on and to see what's going on under the surface or behind the scenes with a lot of, you know, partisan political things that are going on. I won't say that this channel swings one way or another in terms of right or left with politics or anything like that, but it is really interesting to break things apart and kind of see when you really follow money and follow bloodlines and follow many different things that are going on, many different facets of our society, what's actually going on behind the scenes, and what we can do as a society and how we can band together to fix this, because it is something that we're already doing and it really is so incredible. But it's all stuff that, of course, that I will get to. um, I did want to make this first video a little bit about me. I don't like to talk about myself, of course, but if you don't know a little bit about me, it's hard to know where I'm coming from or know the journey that I've had, learning all of the things that I'm going to be disclosing on this channel. But this will be, of course, like a really brief overview of my life and kind of how I've gotten to where I am. I have been doing research of the stuff that we'll start to get into for the last 10 years, just about, I'd say a couple months shy of 10 years. I've been doing this research, and that's not me bragging or anything, because it really doesn't feel like that. There's always something extra to learn as I start to talk about things in this channel and start to go over things. There's going to be more questions that people have, and I definitely encourage you guys to ask what those questions are, and because that's how I was. I always wanted to know more. It's just a journey. There's never an end goal. You're always learning more when it comes to these fields of study, which I'll call fringe topics. Probably the easiest thing. You could call them the C word, conspiracy, if you want to, but that really shuts a lot of people down, because everything that I'll be going over will be cited. There will be sources for everything, and it will be a really good source for people to come to and kind of find just a lot of things I've come across in my years of study and all the books that I've read, and yeah, just quite an experience. But yeah, as a kid, I started out just being this really curious kid, always asking questions about everything. I was annoying all the adult figures around me. They were always wondering, Rafi, like, why are you asking so many questions about this? Like, haven't you already learned about that? Like, why do you keep on asking about it? And because, just a lot of people in our society, which is also probably you, we look at things and we see that there's always something deeper going on, which, yeah, I won't even start to talk about that because we'll get into all of that. But yeah, that was really how it started. And then I started, to quench my thirst, I got into a lot of like science, a lot of, Carl Sagan, Bill Nye the Science Guy, of course, was big when I was growing up. He was awesome. But yeah, just all sorts of different scientists, even Neil deGrasse Tyson in later years too. I started to get into him, but a lot of these people are just very mainstream, and they do have an agenda. When you look at their money and where that money is going, you can see a lot about how they're trying to steer the scientific community into thinking a certain thing that will give us technologies and will be fruitful in the near future, but it won't actually set us free, and it won't give us, things that I'll talk about, like free energy and that. So when I started to realize that, started to follow the money, and then started to look at alternative sciences, all of this kind of just clicked together, and all really made sense that, and of course it will take me many videos to go through this, but as a society, at least in the scientific community, we're really being lied to as a whole. And a lot of this comes from both think tanks and the Ivy League schools that are running a lot of how we're processing and the type of system we're working under in science to actually try to figure things out. We really live in a different universe than we think we live in. there are a lot of Newtonian physics involved, which I'm sure a lot of you know about when we're talking about relativity and black holes and all that. All of that is, of course, very real, but we also have this electric and plasmic aspect of the universe, which I've talked about on, my Facebook page. I've talked about, people who know me will definitely know I've talked about that, but all of that kind of comes together and paints this different picture of even our history as the human race and archaeology and everything like that. Since the dawn of time, and this is something I can talk about definitely in my next video, we've been lied to and misled. We're one of the things we'll go over in this channel is going to be the priesthood, and even in like our first recorded civilization, because we've had many more before this, but in our first civilization, Sumer, we did have the priesthood that rose to power and started to actually tell us what to think, what to do, how to think certain things, how to come to certain conclusions about things. And it did elevate us as a society for a while. There were ideas we weren't necessarily ready for, but it did set us back in the long run. And this is all stuff, of course, I keep on saying that I will get to. I'm really just trying to give a little bit of background on myself. So when I turned about 16, I started to get into the alternative sciences. So just like I was talking about, the electric plasmic universe was something that I got into. And then also I was an atheist before all this. I really was hardcore into the scientific establishment that we're into right now, which, as much as people can make the argument against it, it does promote atheism. It does promote being separated from the spirit, which in some cases can be good, but for the most part is really not good, because you're blocking yourself off to a whole nother field of science. And then a lot of these scientists too, who are atheists, who don't believe in God, want to talk about how much religion and how much spirituality can get in the way of scientific research. However, when you're actually looking at the true evidence of God in science, all stuff, of course, that I will go over, you can see that there really, it limits you so much by not thinking there could be a higher power, a divine power that's integrated into all of these sciences. And it shows itself in really the most elegant ways. This is, of course, all stuff that we'll go over too, but so a lot of people, when they talk about learning these different sciences, they talk about an awakening and things in their life changing, and that will be a whole separate video, my awakening experience, and just how learning all these things really did affect me and made me make a lot of changes in my life, and not even just in my life, but even the lives of people around me changed just because of the changes that I made. But yeah, I guess the only other thing with my awakening I could go over is a little bit of like zodiac signs and such. For me, I am a Taurus, and if you know anything about the constellation of Taurus, you know that the Pleiades are also in the star constellation Taurus. It's actually the eye of the bull, right around there. And as far as symbology, we'll get into symbology too, and the all-seeing eye and everything. But yeah, with eye is related to light, which is related to what you would call wisdom or knowledge. Light would be knowledge. Darkness would be like lack of knowledge or lack of wisdom. So really that whole analogy of Pleiades being like the eye of my constellation and giving me that knowledge, the first thing that really got me into this was a channeling by a lady named Barbara Marciniak, who was a Pleiadian channeler, and she was super incredible. Has a lot of really great scientific information that will lead you into other information that can definitely be verified. Really, really great lady. You can find her on YouTube. I'm sure she's still up. It's been many years since I've actually looked into her. But yeah, and I guess this is kind of going to be the closing for my video. I just wanted to go over a couple of things, see if anyone had any questions, anything they wanted me to go over soon as far as topics. This is a gross oversimplification of the topics that I'm versed in, but I'll kind of go over some topics. My first video I was thinking would be about free energy. It's the most easily digestible information for people who watch this kind of stuff. The most readily available or readily believable information for people. So that was going to be my first video, was just a little bit about free energy. I did make a post about that on my Facebook, but like Thomas Townsend Brown, Nikola Tesla, and what was his name? Victor Schauberger. Just really the pioneers of what we would call free energy, which really is just a byproduct of electromagnetism science or plasmic electric science, really going into the electric plasmic universe. And it is a whole long discussion, which of course I'll go through in all of my first video. But if anyone had any other questions, I'm really well versed in spirituality, the science of spirituality, and of course metaphysics, which you could argue is the same as spirituality. Patents on free energy, electrical engineering, I do love too. We could always pull up some patents and look at that, explain how the patents work, how to actually look at a circuit board on a patent, things like that. And yeah, even things like occultism too. When you're looking at secret societies, how they have spread through the world since the time of Babylon, even before that too, but Babylon was when they really took hold. And these bloodlines that really went all the way, like even when you're talking about the Windsor family, went all the way to the UK, to France, to Germany. Like they split up and they did so many different things, and they've really been playing a multi-tiered game of chess for the last couple of years, doing a excellent job, I guess, if you want to use that adjective. But yeah, just throw some comments down in the comment section there. Let me know what you're really interested in. Of course, my first video will be about the free energy, but if there's anything about me you're interested in, or anything about government secrecy, I will be going over a lot of government spending, what we've been doing since at least the 30s and 40s. There's definitely a lot going on there. When you follow the money, you get a really clear picture of what's been going on in our society, and we're really coming to a headway where we can start to do some crazy things. And that's why me, this shy person, is making this video, and just trying to kind of make a forum where we can all talk about things that are really important. I am don't like to brag about it, but I'm very well read, and I always have something to connect to any type of conspiracy, like even things like Bigfoot, which I think are very surface things and really easily explainable. Even that I can throw in a lot on and talk about. But yeah, just even though this is a brand new channel, go ahead and subscribe. I'll be putting out videos more and more, and I'm really excited to kind of see the kind of things that we come up with and the things that we think about, because I can only go over so much unless people are asking me and wanting to do stuff, and then I can actually go over, like I said, I have a lot of years of research and see what's going on. So even though this is my first video and it's a little scatterbrained, just let me know what you guys think, and expect the first video to be tomorrow at some point, and we can kind of snowball from there and see what's going on. But thanks for taking the time, guys, and watching. You have a great day.